We are going to start with a question actually for you, Paul. And your first question is, what are the main points to consider when I consider moving into a buy-to-let?
It's a fairly broad question, so there's lots to consider, but I'll try to bring it down into a couple of minutes. I suppose part of it depends on what you're looking to achieve. There's a range of different things that you can achieve from investing in buy-to-let, and depending on your goals, you should be doing different things and following different strategies. But very broadly, is when it comes to selecting a location, generally you want to be looking for depth. And what I mean by depth is strong tenant demand and large tenant pools, a broad range of industries and therefore employment, given that's one of the main reasons that any of us live anywhere, is living relatively close to work. And if you have diversity in those things, then you can be relatively confident that there'll be sustained demand regardless of the state of the economy. Facilities, amenities, infrastructure are all very important as well, because again, reasons for people to live there. That will generally result in better socioeconomic levels and lower vacancy rates. So if you have confidence in the depth and all of those different factors, then you can have confidence that your property will rent well and it will sell well. But if you're looking at leveraged buy-to-let, the renting side is probably the more important factor to consider, because property prices will fluctuate. Generally they've fluctuated upwards, but at times they will fall. It doesn't really matter if the price of your property falls, so long as you're not selling at that point in time. Yeah. If your property is rented though, you're safe. If it's not rented, then you've got this extra expense that you need to support, and that can result in you either losing the property or losing a portfolio of properties if you can't afford to support that cost. So making sure you have depth in all of those areas will give confidence that you're in a safe position.
Fabulous. There's also, I suppose, the potential of housing association, maybe getting them to take on your rental, as that tends to be, would you say, on the safer side of things for renting?
I wouldn't say so, because generally they'd be in areas that aren't all that desirable. Housing associations don't tend to operate in highly desirable areas, and desirability is very important. You need to make sure that you're attracting the right sort of person to your property. And if you're relying solely on a housing association taking on board, then you are limiting your target market there. Obviously, a range of other things to consider is all the changes recently in buy-to-let. So there was Section 24, which refers to the tax deductibility or lack thereof of mortgage interest, stamp duty premium, and change with regards to mortgage affordability, which are all fairly complex for an individual to understand. So there is a very broad range of things to get your head around when it comes to investing in buy-to-let, and it's certainly worth seeking professional advice to do that.
Fabulous. And make sure there's a Waitrose nearby, ideally.